Major General and Mrs. Williams, thank you for coming here today. And I know General Williams is on his way to duties still in the office, but he will be here today, along with Command Sergeant Major Stitzel. So I have a couple of opening comments here. One, I just want to make sure that everyone knows and is reminded that for our sort of battle rhythm for InfoX, there's no July InfoX, so next month there will not be one, so it'll be August will be the next time, and that's just as a transition. New folks come in, new folks come out. There's a chance to get everyone get settled, and then in August we'll have another InfoX. Our InfoX might look a little different in August, not here in this room and not on the web, but on AFN. We're still working through some of the technical changes that AFN is going through this summer, so it may look a little different, but it'll still be here. We'll always be here live in person. We'll have it on the Facebook, and where you find it on the TV channel may adjust, but we'll get that information out in plenty of time by August, and working closely with Aaron on that. So, and again, that's just some of the technical changes and satellite uplinks and things like that that I have absolutely no expertise on. All right, and with that, I'll remind everyone, if you're watching online and you want to submit questions via the Facebook page, please go ahead and do so. I will refresh as we go along and take a look at that, and I will remember this time to ask questions of the crowd here live and in person at the end of the day. But put your questions in early on the Facebook page, because sometimes it takes a while for the to refresh and get and pull up there. I have two sort of preemptive discussions, and I know I'm going very long on my intro today, but the first one is on parking. And I know there's a lot of concern as new folks are coming in on parking within both, primarily Caserma Ederle, because the other areas are not quite the concern. But we know that's an issue. We're contracting both a traffic and parking study in conjunction with the Italian police, law enforcement, the Carabinieri, the Italian base commander, and myself, the DES, to ensure before we make any changes, we take everything into account. And we want to make sure we take into account traffic patterns, parking patterns, pedestrian walk patterns, and all of that. So there's just one change, and we get that all done in one fell swoop, and not incremental changes every week, having a new rule on parking or traffic or speed limits or any of that sort of thing. So ask for a little patience until we get there. But as always, common sense and standards prevail. We all, this Army is obviously a standards-based organization. We all understand that you have to wear your seatbelt when you drive. You're not allowed to text and drive. If you're going to talk on a cell phone, it has to be a hands-free device while you're driving. Common sense in that you don't park in someone's parking space at their house. You don't park in the handicap zones unless you have a handicapped identification card on your vehicle, and other of those things. So continue to do that. The CTAP regulation 190-2, which outlines all that, is still in effect. We are currently revising that in conjunction with the law office, the SJA, USAG, and again the PMO lawyers and all other appropriate folks. And we expect that to come out probably sometime by the end of the summer. So this will all arrive at the same time. But until that time, current regulations are still in effect. Okay, so with that, I think I've done enough opening comments, and we'll continue on.
All right, thank you, sir. And at this time, I would like to welcome Master Sergeant Edgar Quiones from the Garrison DPT Mess to the podium to announce this year's Army birthday event for the Vicenza military community.
Thank you, Mr. Sattler. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The United States Army was founded on 14 June 1775. 239 years ago, our nation's leaders established the Continental Army, beginning a rich heritage of successfully defending this great country and her citizens. We celebrate the continued strength, professionalism, and bravery of our ready and resilient soldiers in the all-volunteer force. Our soldiers remain Army strong with a lifelong commitment to our core values and beliefs. Traditionally, the Army's birthday is observed with a cake cutting by the youngest and oldest soldiers present, which signified the development of the Army since June 14, 1775. Cutting the Army birthday cake today are First Sergeant Lopez, who is HAC USAG Vicenza's oldest soldier. His hometown is Caguas, Puerto Rico. He is serving as Company First Sergeant for USAG Vicenza's First Army. PFC Kamakea is HAC's soldier, USAG Vicenza's Soldier of the Year, and also the youngest soldier for USAG Vicenza. Her hometown is Kalaheo, Hawaii. and she is serving as chaplain assistant.
All right, all three of us together. Give that first. All right. Well, that's a big piece of cake there.
Ladies and gentlemen, next Thursday, June 12th, we are hosting our Army birthday celebration at Del Den from 1300 to 1400 with the Army campaign streamer ceremony and a cake cutting event. 14 battle streamers will be presented to the colors, honoring more than 1 million soldiers who fought and died while serving their nation's call to arms. All are welcome to attend this festive event. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This morning we have 5 hot topics. First, I'd like to introduce U.S. Army Health Center Vicenza Commander, Colonel Andrew Barr, and he'll be introducing the Army Performance Triad. Colonel Barr.
Thanks, Grant. So we're going to be talking a little bit about the Performance Triad today. So we're fortunate in the Army to have a Surgeon General, Lieutenant General Horoho, who's very focused on the health and the wellness of our force. We have been providing medical care through a healthcare system in the United States for a very long time, which focuses a little bit on prevention and wellness, but is really set up to handle acute medical issues as they come up and treat those very, very well. And what we're trying to do is transition the way we look at healthcare from a healthcare system to a system for health, which actually focuses more than it has in the past on prevention and on wellness. And of course, we're always going to need the acute treatment piece, which we do very, very well. But it's really a generational and cultural challenge to try to get us focused on what we can do to be more well as we go forward. And the Performance Triad is part of that. The Surgeon General likes to talk about the life space, which are those times where you're not in the clinic. Most of our TRICARE beneficiaries only come to see the doctor about 4 times a year. There's a lot of other life that goes on out there when you're not at the clinic. And during that time and in that life space, we all make choices with how we live, what we eat, how much sleep we get, how much exercise that we get. And so one of the things that the AMED team has come up with is something called the Performance Triad, which focuses on adequate amount of sleep every night, appropriate nutrition, and then adequate amounts of exercise. And so this is becoming something that we're very, very focused on. We have a kickoff week for our Performance Triad here in Vicenza this week. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Amanda Walker to talk a little bit more about the Performance Triad and talk about our week to celebrate these activities.
Thank you. So the Performance Triad represents healthy sleep, nutrition, and physical activity. These are 3 key components that are important for health, well-being, and readiness. Individually, these components are important. However, it's best and have optimal performance when we focus on all 3 at the same time. So this week's kickoff events, we're highlighting the various community programs that support the Performance Triad. MWR has been offering free fitness workshops all week long. Started on Monday when they had a swim techniques class out at Del Den, and yesterday there was a Foundations of Fitness class at the Luna Bubble. ACS held their weekly Meditation Monday, which had a special sleep edition and focused on relaxation techniques to help with sleep. Ms. Abigail Eason from the Health Center also had her monthly Healthy Sleep Habits class out at Del Den, then provided education on strategies to improve the quality of sleep. And our Wellness Center performed fitness assessments on Monday with the Master Fitness Trainers, and we're also teaching our weekly Upping Your Metabolism class. So if you missed any of those events, there's plenty more opportunities this week. Today at the PX, there's going to be a Performance Triad information booth having a slew of information on the different healthy sleep habits, nutrition, and tips for physical activity. So stop by, gain some knowledge, and also you can sign up for the 26-week challenge, which is online and has different goals that you set each week to achieve healthier habits. You can also enter into the raffle, the Performance Triad raffle, that will be held at the end of the week. This evening at 17:30, there's a Mission Essential Fitness class over at the Luna Bubble, and then tomorrow morning at 0900, there will be a rowing class offered at the Caserma Ederle Fitness Center. Thursday, Del Den will have a Performance Triad specialty meal. And then Friday, MWR will be having a soccer juggling and penalty kick contest during lunch. To wrap up the week, we have a special event. It's the 5K Fun Run Walk that's sponsored by the Health Center. It's all levels, so bring out the family, bring out the kids, and have family physical activity and make it so everybody can enjoy. The run will be all throughout Post. The registration will begin at Caserma Ederle Track, which is the North 40 field across from here. That starts at 1700, and the run will actually begin at 1730. There'll be a water snack stop that's provided by the USO, and volunteers will be assisting from the Red Cross, MWR, and Team Red, White, and Blue Vicenza. Afterwards, head to the USO with chicken, fish, steak, or even your vegetables for their Bring Your Own Meat Night. And they'll be firing up the barbecues to grill different meats and providing a garden salad alongside. The Performance Triad campaign promotes healthy sleep, nutrition, and performance behavior among the entire Army family. So this is all inclusive for everyone. We're lucky to be a part of a very special community that provides many opportunities to support healthy lifestyles. If you need more information on the services that are available to help you make positive lifestyle changes, contact the Vicenza Army Wellness Center or the Vicenza Health Center, and you can also find more information on the Vicenza Health Center Facebook page.
Thank you very much, Ms. Walker. Next up is Garrison Safety Director Don Buspis with some details on motorcycle safety.
Army safe, Army strong, hooah. I like that. Today's safety brief that we're going to give today involves motorcycle safety and the requirements for PPE, whether you're an operator, a passenger, a soldier, a civilian, or a dependent. If you operate a motorcycle, you have to abide by these rules. On post for everybody. Off post, it applies only to soldiers. But and I'm going to say this again, we encourage everybody to wear these things all the time. And if you're a supervisor, a leader, a commander, and you see someone on post or off post that's not wearing the correct PPE, which I'm going to show just exactly what it is, piece by piece, I'm going to, basically lay it out in front of you. Make a correction. Because if you don't make a correction, you just approved something they were doing wrong, and they'll do it wrong again. Make that correction on the spot. We all have that responsibility to make that correction for anyone. I have 6 slides today, and as I went through the slides, I started thinking, how much of this material is everyone really going to take with them when they leave? So, like I said, we've devised a different way of doing this. So, Colonel Menist, with your permission, sir.
Please proceed.
Yes, sir. Come on in here, Sergeant Crow. Come on, right on over here. Perfect. Don't stand in front of me. I got to have my camera time. First piece of PPE that's required are gloves. Not just any gloves. These have to be full-finger gloves or mittens made of leather or other abrasion-resistant material. Why? Because the first thing you're going to put down if you have an accident on a motorcycle are going to be your hands on the ground. Flip slide, please. Next piece of PPE is a EU-approved helmet. A DOD helmet is what's required in the U.S. In Italy and Austria and Germany, Benelux, over here is actually an EU helmet. It'll be stamped EU and it'll have a country number on it. One of the more important things to have when you put your helmet on is a secure buckle on it, and buckle it underneath your chin. Make sure that helmet's put on correctly. Eye protection, which we recommend that the eye protection be built into the helmet, like Sergeant Crow has here. He's got that shield that comes down. If you're going to wear the open-face Dale Earnhardt helmet without the shield on it, you're taking a chance. If you decide to do that, your eyewear, your eyeglasses have to meet the ANSI 71 standard. And I know everyone in here knows what that is, correct? If you don't, come by the safety office and I can explain that to you. But we recommend definitely the closed helmet. Foot protection. Foot protection has to be sturdy, over the ankle footwear. It's got to protect the feet and the ankles.
How far are we going to go with this, Derek?
Sir, I had your permission.
Okay.
Oh, boy. In addition to the foot protection, you also have to have on a long sleeve shirt or jacket. We recommend a jacket like Sergeant Crow has on here right now. He's got a jacket and he's got the overliner with the reflective material on it. So he's going to take those off. Made of such materials such as leather, Kevlar, impact-absorbing material. It's got to be fluorescent and it's got to be reflective so you can be seen at night. Okay.
Don, if I could ask a question.
Sir.
The reflective vest
Yes, sir.
on his vest. What about a reflective belt or one of the over-the-shoulder vests? Is that authorized?
No, sir.
And why not?
Any reflective gear used for PT is not authorized because it's not big enough to show a good profile of you. If you have just a reflective little belt on, you show a really small profile. But per the commanding general use, sir, those are not allowed. Sir,
Great answer. Thank you.
thanks. Long pants, abrasion-resistant material, again, Kevlar. Sergeant Crow, go ahead.
I think I might have to stop you there.
Okay. Per the USAG General, Commanding General, soldiers assigned in Europe will wear a vest, jacket, upper outer garment, or motorcycle clothing that incorporates fluorescent and highly reflective material at all times when operating a motorcycle on and off post. And again, civilians are encouraged to follow the same because it just makes sense. The host nation, local nationals, they have their own rules. They have to wear a helmet. They abide by those. If you're going to ride a motorcycle and you're a soldier, on or off post, this is what you wear. And it has to meet all the standards. Civilians on post, again, this is what you wear. We encourage everyone to wear this at all times. Let me tell you a story here. This is a great story. And it happened in May of this year. USAG Vicenza, the community, had a soldier that was riding to work at 4 o'clock in the morning on his motorcycle. This soldier had been trained, and he was wearing all his PPE. He rounded a curve. He hit gravel in the road. The motorcycle tried to low side where it slides out from underneath him. He corrected it and maybe overcorrected it a little bit, and it actually high-sided and tossed this soldier off in the road. Again, this soldier had the training, and he had the correct PPE on. That soldier was Sergeant Crow. He sustained a TBI, traumatic brain injury, which is a concussion. He was unconscious. And he sustained also a minor injury to his hip. And I asked him, I said, you're willing to come up here and do this. What's your message? And he said, the message is get the proper training, ride within your limits, and wear your personal protective equipment. Because one loss is too many. One loss for the Army is too many. Always operate to arrive alive. Wear the PPE that Sergeant Crow has demonstrated. Get your training. If there's any questions or anyone wants a copy of the brief, come by the safety office and we'll provide it to you. Army safe, Army strong. Cool.
Keep calm and ask your mom. And if I could, I'll add a few extra. No, you can keep going and get back dressed. A few additional comments on this. One, obviously, Lieutenant General Campbell is very passionate about motorcycle safety, and in fact, it requires all leaders to be a part of the solution and the enforcement of these standards. It is not just an MP job to enforce standards, certainly. I'm sure the command sergeant majors at this table would certainly agree that it's all leaders' responsibility when we see a standard that's not being met to correct it. So as you see someone that is not wearing the appropriate PPE for motorcycles, please help enforce that standard for us. Don't let it become a new standard by letting it pass by, as Don said. Additionally, I think everyone here knows we're in Italy, right? Raise your hands. Okay. Oh, no one raised their hands. All right. So, local national laws are slightly different than our Army regulations and U.S. laws. That's just a fact that we live here in Italy. And based upon the SOFA agreement and our technical arrangements with the country of Italy, there are certain regulations that are not enforceable on Italian local nationals when they come on our base. This is an Italian base. There's an Italian base commander in Carabinieri, Italian law enforcement that enforces those rules for them. So I know it appears like there's a double standard, and unfortunately that's just part of living in Italy. That is the way it is. Just like there's a different SOFA when you live in Germany and when you live in Japan, when you live in Korea. They each have their own separate negotiation with that country for what our status of forces agreement are and how the law enforcement is enforced on those bases. So, just ask for your patience with that. Again, this is for U.S. soldiers, their family members, dependents, DA civilians, and our U.S. population here on base. Okay, that's it on those two. I think that answered a couple of the Facebook questions that popped up on that very topic. So,
All right, thank you, sir. And that last slide you had there with the texting done on the motorcycle is a good caveat for some information on traffic enforcement and home security from our Director of Emergency Services, Major Brian Mumphrey.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, Major Mumphrey, I'm the Garrison Director of Emergency Services. This morning I'm going to take a few minutes to talk to you about our 100 Days of Summer Traffic Enforcement in conjunction with the 100 Days of Summer Safety campaign that the Army does. As we do every day, we enforce the regulatory requirements of USAG TAF 190-2. You, when you get your USAG TAF license, subscribe to that, whether or not you know what the table of penalties are and the actual regulation states. With that being said, I would like to give you a few ideas of things that we look at. On all Army installations, all DoD installations for that matter, driving and using a cell phone and texting while driving is illegal. You cannot do that. There are points assessed to your USAG TAF license if you are stopped and cited for that. That's 2 points per occasion. Failure to wear seatbelts by all occupants of a vehicle is also against the law. You're required to wear a seatbelt. All passengers, children must be in the appropriate child restraint. That, in and of itself, is an automatic 7-day suspension of your driving privileges. What will happen is the day that you are cited for that, you will, of course, get points assessed to your license, but you will have until 1700, the next calendar day, to relinquish your license to the MP desk in Building 4 Alpha. If you do not do that, you'll be flagged in IACS. The MPs will then come to you if you come on post as a passenger or as a driver of a vehicle. We're giving you that time, that 24 hours or so, to make arrangements for you to get transportation to and from the installation. Okay? We average about 20 licenses per week that are turned over to us because people fail to wear seatbelts. One of the other things that we're looking at is, again, as Mr. Busbus from Safety said, is the PPE. The USAG Commanding General signed a Command Policy 2014-019 on the 22nd of May, which stipulates the requirements that Mr. Busbus went over. And that, again, for failure to wear the proper PPE is a 2-point assessment to your license. This is applicable to all service members, all DoD civilian employees, all contractors, and all family members, whether you're the driver or a passenger on a motorcycle or a moped. Also, excessive speed. We do have a problem on our caserma. People tend not to follow the posted speed limits. We have various posted speed limits on the installation. We do have cameras set up that will tell you whether or not you're in compliance with that speed. Again, follow the posted speed limit. We do radar on a daily basis. Eating and driving is also illegal. Even a bottle of water while you're driving is against Italian law. So please ensure that you're doing the right things while you're driving. This, again, is all for your safety. Just like riding bicycles and skateboards, you have to have the proper PPE on. Helmets when you're riding a bicycle. Bicycles are not authorized to be ridden on sidewalks except for in Bellagio for the safety of children. If a parent is riding a bicycle from Bellagio to Caserma and they're riding here, it only makes sense for the parent to be riding on the sidewalk with their child. Okay, so some things to be cognizant of. Parents, please enforce that your children have to be following the rules. Children all the way, however old they are, if they're a teenager riding a skateboard, they have to have the proper PPE. Slide, please. Some of the things that we do for physical security is we do home assessments for your own protection at your homes. These are free. When you come into housing, housing is supposed to give you a documentation that gives you the contact information for my physical security office. You can call them before you sign a contract for a house. They will come out and teach you or recommend some things to you to make your house a harder target versus being a soft target. These are the numbers in front of you of the individuals that you should call. Slide, please. Some of the things that they'll focus on with you is teaching you what symbols to look for. There are people in the community that are a criminal entity that have various markings that they put on your home to let people know if it's a single female living there, if the home is prime for theft, if there's a dog there. These gentlemen will teach you what those symbols look like so that you can be cognizant of this and be able to report to us, and we can share that information with the Carabinieri and the local polizia to be on the lookout in that local area for those criminal entities. They'll teach you how to look for unexpected visitors, minimizing your public exposure, some things not displaying an American flag at your house, not making it look like we're the American with our big pickup truck sitting out front, and maybe parking it down the street, other things like that. Slide, please. Some of the things that they'll tell you is also, when you see these things, who to report them to. The MP desk, the Vicenza Military Intelligence Detachment, they'll go out and survey the area as well. Things that you need to report. People trying to obtain information on your neighbors, on you, coming up to you and bluntly asking you questions about these individuals. As well as what's suspicious in your neighborhood, what just doesn't look right, things that you need to report. Slide, please. Be smart. Use us. We're there to help you. We're there to help you be a hard target. We're there to help you if you are broken into, to renegotiate your contract through housing with your landlord to be able to put the proper security measures in place to where it won't happen to you again. Lock your doors at night. I had one of my MPs had a gentleman in her bedroom 3 months ago because her husband did not lock one of the doors downstairs. Slide. Contact information for reporting incidents to the MP desk, the Vicenza Military Intelligence Detachment, as well as my Fiscal Security Office. If you have any questions, you can contact myself, Dr. Dan Brush, my deputy, or the Provost Sergeant, Master Sergeant Troy Wolverton will be able to help you from there. Sir.
All right. I got a couple of questions on that very topic. One is they are requesting our volume to be raised. So I don't know if you guys can do that from over there on that side, so it's not coming through quite as loud. So I'll try to speak up a little bit and eat the microphone here. Oh, too loud. Okay, one of the questions, it's a slightly different topic, but also it's on vehicle registration. The lines are considerably longer than they have been, and part of this is because of the summer rush we had last year with units from the 173rd moving down from Germany. They, of course, all registered their vehicles at the same time, got their safety inspections, and so a year later, they're all coming due again. So we have a huge rush on the lines, which has overloaded the capacity of the two gentlemen that work there. We're working with the folks over at DOL on how we can remedy this solution, whether it's, and there's lots of different ideas, but we're working through those to try to alleviate. So we have identified this as a community problem, and we're working with that organization to see if we can get that fixed. So I don't have a solution for you today, but we are looking at it, and we will we'll put something out either on Facebook or in the other community pages once we've come up with a way to get around that piece. And again, there's some other comments about enforcement of the regulations. Again, it's all our responsibility to do so. I'd ask that everyone chip in and try to help do that. It's not a matter of trying to get away with anything. It's not a matter of who should be enforced or not. It's about safety, it's about regulations, and it's about standards. So let's please all do our part to adhere to that. Okay, and I'll do one other. This is a sort of lighter question that came up to kind of lighten the mood here a little bit. And I think, Cindy, I think I see you in the crowd there. This was for the AAFES folks about the movie theater and offering daytime shows during the summer months when the schools are out. So when we get to you later on, maybe you'll have a discussion on that or can think about that. Okay? All right, Grant, back to you.
Sir, our next topic is from Environmental Chief Jim Lessard from the Directorate of Public Works. We'll talk about eco centers in Vicenza military community. Mr. Lessard.
Okay, thanks, Grant. Good morning. Could we go to the next slide? Thank you. For those new to the Vicenza community and Italy, recycling is mandated by Italian decree, by law. So we must recycle. And also, there's a mandatory executive order driver, 13514, signed by President Obama in 2009, that says all government agencies will achieve a 50% diversion from landfills through recycling by 2015. And I wanted to take time now to thank the community for the great job you're doing, because not only have we met that goal in advance of the 2015 mandate, but we're at 55% this year, diversion from the landfill. So good job, we got to keep up the good work, but I need your help. Because the eco-centers are for residential recyclables, and there are certain things that we can have up there and certain things we cannot. One is hazardous materials or hazardous waste. So if you're PCSing, ETSing, or if you have excess hazardous materials, what I'd really appreciate it if you would contact our environmental haz waste program managers that are, one, trained, qualified, and certified to handle the hazardous materials and hazardous waste. And they're in the room today, Alessandro Salustio and Joe Honeywell. And we have the contact numbers up there. They're happy to help you and support you to make sure that that is properly stored and disposed of for the laws and regulations. And the same for used vehicle tires or batteries. We have set locations for those. DFMWR, Auto Skills, Charlie, is set up to accept used tires. Also lead acid batteries, and we're set up for that at $275. So I would appreciate your help and support in this, and thanks again to the community for all you've done, because this was one of the metrics that we were measured against when we won the SEC Army Award, was how well we're doing in the recycling arena. So thank you. Sir?
Great, thank you. And it's, it's part of being a good member of the community, and not only our local community, the Vicenza military community, but the Italian community as a whole and of the world. This is an important thing. Continue to recycle. And just a quick question is, obviously we're coming into the PCS season, so there'll be a lot of folks outgoing and incoming. And of course with incoming comes a lot of boxes and a lot of cardboard.
Yes.
What's the appropriate and best way to get rid of all that cardboard?
At the Echo Center, we have the cardboard compactors that they can go down there. It's best if they break the boxes down. It's a little easier. It takes up less space in the compactor. We have an AIM contractor that is there, only set hours during the day. He's there till 6 at night and Saturdays till 1. They open around 0800. So he's there to assist the community members and make sure that we're doing it safely and we're putting it in the right containers.
Perfect. Okay, so let's all help out with that.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Grant.
Sir, for our final hot topic, we turn to Director of Family and Morale, Welfare, and Recreation, Mr. Christopher Bradford, for what's coming up in the Vicenza military community. Mr. Bradford.
All right, thank you. Good morning. I feel lucky, as usual, I get to just talk about the fun stuff, not all the rules and regulations of what we can or can't do. First thing I want to highlight is next month we'll be celebrating our independence, and here in this community, it went very well last year. We're going to do it again on the 3rd of July. So starting at 1600 all the way through midnight, we'll have food and beverages, a lot of FRGs and private organizations, as well as a local vendor. Will be selling every type of festival, carnival food imaginable, plus live entertainment. We also will go out with a bang and have a great fireworks show. Part of doing it on the 3rd allows us to have a better show because we can save some of the cost of overtime and other things, and we can add that to fireworks. So that's part of the reason to do it. The other reason was a lot of folks appreciated being able to have that festival on the 3rd and then enjoy the 4th and the rest of the long weekend and do other things and enjoy some of the trips and other things that we have through MWR. So through here, outdoor recreation calendar, another shameless plug. There's still about 3 or 4 months left in this magazine of things that you can do in June now, also through 4th of July weekend and other things, so take advantage of that. Next slide, please. Okay. We have a boxing event, a kind of a Bring the Heat is the theme in early July. I'm a little bit thrown off because I hadn't seen that picture of the boxer before. Sergeant Major is giggling, so I think that I may have him to blame. That face is recognizable from quite a few decades ago, Sergeant Major, so. Okay, a little bit thrown, but anyway, it's, all of you aren't, that was when I used to enjoy taking pictures. Don't anymore. But obviously all of us are not boxers, and so you might think this isn't for you, but it is because it promises to be a great entertainment type event at the Delden Fitness Center. $5 for general admission. They're also having North Carolina barbecue that you can purchase with table service in the balcony area. It promises to be a great event. And I think the Command Sergeant Major is going to come out of retirement and put on an exhibition match. All right. Not on the slides. Another plug is that we have, of course, a lot of great things going on this summer. To include, this is a magazine for Camp Darby, outdoor recreation. Camp Darby has the American Beach. We have cabins there. Of course, the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I highly encourage those of you who are here in Vicenza, and those maybe listening, they're outside of Vicenza, to take advantage of the American Beach and get down there and enjoy yourself and enjoy the summer. Also, we have a ton of different youth events over the summer. So instead of trying to talk about all of those or put them on the slide, what I encourage is you to get a magazine that we have here. This is just CYS events. It's the summer camp information. There's also activities here. I'll be in the lobby afterwards, so if you want a copy of one of these, or even better yet, at 12 o'clock today in the Command Conference Room, Building 109, we have the Parent Advisory Committee meeting where you can share input and thoughts on what you would like to see and also get some of this great information. So invite you to attend that today, right after this InfoX. Also, if you're looking for something to do between now and Independence Day or your next big trip, Friday the 13th, the following Friday, next Friday, we have comedy improv night at the Soldiers Theater. It's members of our community who do some really fun, entertaining stuff. The price is great, it's free, and you can have beverages, snacks, and great comedy. So stay tuned, and of course, go visit the MWR website, Garrison website, and social media to find out more information. Thank you.
All right, Chris, you don't get totally off the hook, though. We had one question from Facebook here about the pool hours at Villaggio. If you could just talk about that and how we have to balance.
Yes, sir. We've looked at, I guess, we have a certain number of hours. I would really rather not see that picture, but we can go to recognition.
Next slide.
Next slide. But we have a certain number of hours that we're funded for, a certain number of guards per pool. And the Villaggio pool is at that number of hours right now. Maybe one of the things we can do, if it's agreeable to the community, and we'll look at this, is we could reduce some of the hours at one of the pools, either at Delvin or here on Ederly, and increase the summer hours. So there's some flexibility, but in the total aggregate of all of our pools, and we're one of the only communities that has the beautiful benefit of having 3 pools, is maybe we can open the Villaggio outdoor pool a little bit longer that way. But we'll look at it, sir.
Okay. Yeah, so again, we don't have unlimited resources, nor do we have unlimited lifeguards. So there's, we got to do a balance, but we can continue to look at those balance. But your feedback is important, because as we get feedback of folks wanting later hours, if that's what the community wants, then we'll adjust. But again, we have to find some place to take away from. It's a zero-sum gain. So, but we'll continue to look at that, and your feedback is important for that. So please feel free to give feedback on pool hours, as if you're a swimmer and you like to use those, either from the family or from the fitness pool, and we'll take that in consideration. Make sure we're trying to get the largest population covered. Okay, and before we go into recognitions, we'll take a few more questions from the Facebook piece. And one I want to recognize, they're in finals right now, so as much as the softball team wanted to come to be recognized for their #1 place, or the championship softball women's team from our high school, they're taking finals right now. So the principal did not authorize them to break free from that, which I guess is understandable. And of course, we don't have one next month. By August, I'm not sure how many of them will still be here, but we'll see how many we can reconvene to be recognized publicly, and that as we've done for other teams that have won the championship piece. But congratulations for a great softball season, and for representing Vicenza well on that. Another little note, as many of you know, the Italian Mensa, which is right across from my headquarters, somewhat near the between sort of the movie theater and the arena on that road there. Up until this point, we recently renovated it and reopened it with a new contractor. We've worked some of the throughput issues to allow for faster service to the patrons so that there's not as long of a line for our Italian workforce. So we're happy to say we're going to do a test run of opening up the line to U.S. personnel right there at 11:30. Previous to this, we had only opened it to 12:30 to allow our local national workforce to get through the line, but we're going to open that up at 11:30, do a little test run. If it gets to the point where it's too maxed out and too crowded and we can't get everyone that needs to eat there on as part of their contract through the line, we'll have to adjust again, but we're going to give that a shot. So it's a great meal, and it's, you get a salad, first course, second course, and a drink. Very, very good price. So encourage you to utilize that. But remember that for many of our Italian workforce, that is as part of their service contract or their contract of employment, they're provided lunch there, so that's the one place where they get to go to lunch. So we'll give that a try. All right, with that, let's go to recognitions.
Yes, sir. Now we take a moment to recognize
And so we-
our youth
yeah.
and adult volunteers of the month. And I invite Ms. Ann Fugate, who is managing our Army Volunteer Corps program, to the microphone.
Morning. So the Vicenza Army Volunteer Corps is pleased to announce the outstanding community volunteers for May 2014. The adult outstanding community volunteer for May is Hannah Leong, nominated by the Exceptional Family Member Program. Every month for 2 years, Hannah has presented an EF&P Information Hour, providing EF&P families with up-to-date, research-based information on a number of relevant and interesting topics. Hannah's information hours have not only been educational, but also a source of support. After each presentation, family members, as well as staff from organizations throughout the community, have had the opportunity to interact and ask questions which address professional and personal situations. Hannah comes wonderfully prepared each month with articles and other resources, and also she engages the participants, not only offering facts and statistics, but also connecting with her humor, realism, and her own life experiences. Thank you, Hannah. The Youth Outstanding Community Volunteer for May is Abigail Valerie, nominated by the American Red Cross. As a member of the Vicenza High School Red Cross Club, Abby has responded to many requests for community and Red Cross events. She is dependable and enthusiastic about contributing her time and energy. Abby also participated in the Red Cross mentoring program at the Vicenza Elementary School. She's a great role model for her peers, and her contributions reflect positively on the Red Cross. Thank you, Abby.
Congratulations to our volunteers. Thank you very much. At this point in our program, we go across the table for any additional community announcements from our service providers, and we'll begin on this end with the schools. Vicenza Middle School Principal, Dr. Julio Gonzalez.
Good morning, and congratulations, Abby, for representing our school so well, our school system. Also, just to mention that what Colonel Menes says about the softball season, and thank you so much for recognizing these athletes. They were also soccer team members out there, boys and girls, and baseball. They did very well. They represented us very well at Europeans. Dr. White made sure that I mentioned that to the community. Well done. Every time you send that number of athletes up north and they come back south, no injuries, and everybody comes out happy. Winning is icing on the cake, and they did very well, very well. There are many events in the community. Thanks for checking on your web pages, the school web pages, and the Garrison web pages, the Facebook pages, and monitoring and adjusting. There's a lot of activities happening this next 2 weeks especially. Big one is the high school graduation coming up on June the 9th on Monday. They adjusted that time to make sure the community can attend. Also, our 8th graders are transitioning today at 1:30. They're not graduating. they're transitioning to high school, so we have that activity today. The elementary has, and the middle school have, we have field days, fun activities. Just check them out. And there's a lot of communities and command support. Soldiers are going there to help us. Last day of school is June 12, half day, and then we release about 1,400 students out to the community and about 200 staff members. Big planning for next year, critical that parents get out and register their children. It's so critical because the services that will provide the community and the students depend on registration. So if you have not done so, it's open registration, so please come out and register. Also, some families that may be having lunch accounts not cleared, that they're missing some payments, please make sure you do so before school year lets out. That's all I have. I have to tell you that this is also, I have to make this announcement to the community. This is my last InfoX representing our principals. I have been given a new assignment to Germany, to the community up there at Spangallem and Bitburg. Being the senior member of the team here of administrators, I feel honored to do that, but I feel kind of bittersweet to leave this great community, as we have next year will be our 21st century teaching, leading, and learning pilot schools, the whole complex, especially the elementary and the middle school. So that's a great thing for this community, and also advanced ed accreditation visits that will happen. The scores came in. The scores look wonderful. Check them out. We'll send them out. We have sent out the turnover scores, grades 3 to 9 to the whole community. So check them out. They did very well. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Gonzalez.
All right. Hey, Dr. G, thank you for everything you've done for the community and for being part. We're sad to see you go, but it's our loss is Germany's gain. So great. Best of luck to you up there.
We move now down to the far end of the table to our Health Center Commander, Colonel Andrew Barr. Sir.
All right, good morning again. I think we've got some slides, yes. So I just wanted to provide the community some updates on a couple of past hot topics and then talk about one other thing. The first thing on the docket today is the birthing center closure. So again, we haven't talked about this publicly for a while, other than in small groups, but that's about a week away now. So the official closing operationally will be on the 15th of June. But our last admission, again, just to remind the community, at noon on the 11th of June. So after that time, the doors will be closed to active laboring patients. Our patients, of course, are very aware of this, and we have good plans in place. But again, just to put that out publicly one last time. Our three main options, again, for the community for prenatal care and delivery: for prenatal care at San Bortolo and Casa de Cura Aretania, and then delivery at San Bortolo, and then short nesting at Aviano Air Base. So my staff has been out to both San Bortolo and to Aretania numerous times in the last couple of months. Everyone is validated. I think the services that our patients are going to find here locally in Vicenza, either at Aretania or at San Bortolo, are going to be excellent. And again, I appreciate the hard work of our Italian partners to help stand up something to the same quality of care that we're used to receiving here in the health center, and I think our patients are going to be very pleased with that. We continue to sign a number of our patients up for short nesting at Aviano, which is a great opportunity. And again, however we can help satisfy those needs for our community, we will do that. Our patients began our referral process this past week, and that'll continue going on for the next 2 weeks. So our referral management staff is very busy over at the health center. We continue to provide prenatal care appointments through our OB-GYN clinic through the 15th of June, and our providers right now are helping to transition those patients that are currently receiving care and those new patients that we will receive. We have a referral process in place for them as well. The baby book, we have published that, so our What to Expect While You're Expecting a Vicenza book is available. So that's being given out again through our clinics now. That's also at our referral management TRICARE office, and will be over at our primary care clinic as well. So, hey, I'm not pregnant in Vicenza yet, but thinking about getting there, what do I do? So if you think you're pregnant in the community or for new community members that join this summer, any woman that thinks she's pregnant, just please have them come to the primary care clinic. That's for beneficiaries and for Space A. Just come to the primary care clinic. We'll get a test ordered, and then our chief nurse that is going to be our case manager for OB will get together with the individual and let them know where we need to go from there and what the referral process is. So we'll have our arms wrapped around you. Again, just want to publicly thank my staff for all the hard work that's been done in this challenging time for us, but also to thank the community for their understanding and patience as we move forward with something that we have to get done here. It's been a great effort for everyone. Going forward with this, as with all medical care in Vicenza, is basically just advocate and communicate. So remember to advocate for yourselves. We have outstanding patient liaison staff down at San Bortolo that's there to handle your issues. We prefer and enjoy receiving all feedback that you can bring us from all of your appointments, whether those are inpatient or outpatient out on the network. When those are brought to to my awareness, I can get after that and correct any issues that we have. So again, appreciate you bringing that information back to us. The next hot topic is Space A care, and again, the intent for this community is for the health center to provide the maximal amount of care that we can for our entire community. Just wanted to follow up on a few things with that. We've been averaging about 4 to 5 appointments a day available on average at the health center for Space A. Again, some days we won't have any, other days we have more than that, but on average about 4 to 5. Some of the topics that came up in the town hall that we had were concerns about pediatrics care. So again, we have figured out a way, so for all children from 0 to 2 years of age, whether you're Space A or a beneficiary, just call up the clinic and you'll have an appointment for that wellness care, especially for our Space A patients that deliver down at San Bortolo. It's not an issue, so just call for your follow-up appointments at the right time and you'll get in for that. School physicals also, we'll be having those throughout the summer for both beneficiaries and for Space A. Again, please do not wait till the last minute to get your school physicals, sports physicals, CDC physicals done. Our next day for that will be on the 18th of June. We still have appointments available for that. So come early, come often, and we'll have other dates that will be announced as the current date fills up. The other special population we had concern about was our attention deficit children, and we will be able to handle that Space A population with equal access as our TRICARE beneficiaries. And again, any other concerns that you have about Space A care, we always appreciate hearing about that as well. We have an updated Italian physician list that I was going to send out yesterday. That'll be sent out today, both to our Dodds contacts and to Garrison, so you should expect to see that in the email. Next slide, please. The other question that came up at one of the community town halls was just, hey, are there going to be any appointments available after 11 o'clock? And so as you can see there, both for primary care and peds, since April, we've done pretty well with that. So this is the average number of days where at 11 o'clock there are appointments available. So we're getting into kind of the 70 to 80% range there, and we hope to maintain that, but appointments are available. The last thing I'll talk about just very quickly, some of the bad news is we will have a bit of a summer underlap for medical services. We typically have that every summer with PCSs, but we are faced with a few more challenges this summer than normal due to PCSs, some required training that's come up. We've got some backfill issues in Livorno that we're having to cover down on, and then just the op tempo with 173rd remains very high. So just to set expectations there and ask for your understanding on that. We have certainly planned appropriately with leave schedules, requested backfill, and we're fortunate to have some National Guardsmen from Georgia that will be with us all summer, including providers. So we're hoping to offset and mitigate some of that with that. But again, just ask your understanding, and again, if there's issues with that, please bring that to our attention. Went a bit long, I apologize, but good information. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Colonel Barr. Anything from DINTAC? Colonel Shakespeare.
Yeah, thank you. Just a quick note, update that our readiness and wellness has remained relatively static with the exception of a little bit, because of the up-tempo of the 173rd, our class 4 population has increased a little bit, but not so bad. The bad part about this brief is that in the month of May we had 90 failed appointments. 90 failed appointments translates to about 13 days for a professional provider. Given about 20 working days in a month, that's about 3/4 of a month for one provider who's been sidelined and become ineffective. So that's a very expensive process. And so we just need to be careful about how, when we make appointments, that those processes are preserved, those resources are utilized well. 29% of those failures were from family members and 71% were from the active duty population. As we move into the summer with travel with kids out of school, we know that our failure rates have a tendency to increase, so just be careful and cognizant when you're making appointments that you're making appointments when you know you can be there, and not lose that time. Again, just like the health center, staff turbulence and PCS issues are going to be affecting us here at the dental clinic as well. Our dentist down in Livorno, PCS at the end of May, and so we're having to send down docs from here to cover Livorno until mid-August when the new dentist will arrive in Livorno. So that's another cost out of this community to cover down for that clinic there for Mr. Kilgore. So time is valuable, use it wisely, and we'll continue to make sure their hair is not on fire relative to dental. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Shakespeare. At this time, we open up the microphone for any additional community announcements. We ask today that each individual, if you should have signed up on the clipboard, that helps AFN to further assist in getting your 30-second announcement.
We got one more here at the front table. An alibi.
Oh, an alibi, all right.
Yes. Actually, I was testing the system to see if I could put out some bad information if somebody was really watching online and if they would catch it. And I'm happy to announce that there are people online. And I had mentioned something about the improv night. And so somehow I'm so used to a lot of things being free, I said free. It's such a great program and so well received, it's $10 entry fee. So as the prize for my secret contest to see if I could put out bad information, Jade Wood, your entry is free. So please identify yourself at the Soldier Theater with ID card, and you're the big winner of the contest. Thank you.
Yeah.
You want to collect the money?
Will do.
All right, and with that, back onto track.
Now we move to the open mic portion. So please come to the mic, announce yourself and your organization, and let us know what you have.
Good morning. I'm Wade Walren with American Red Cross. Just have a few quick announcements. I'm happy to announce that our CPR class this Saturday is absolutely full, which is a good sign. But we do have a blended learning class, which is partial online training and partial classroom training. That one is next Tuesday. It's a morning class from 9:30 until 12. If that's something you're interested in, please get in touch with our office and let us know. We only have one person signed up at this time. We have to have at least a minimum of 2 to hold the class. So just to let you know, we also have babysitter training coming up. That's going to be in July, so I'm going to go ahead and mention that now since we're not going to have a July InfoX. Once again, we have to have a minimum of 2 individuals for that one. Usually the July training does fill up for babysitting, so sign up early. Then we also have a pet first aid class. That one is going to be on the 21st of June. Once again, need a minimum of 2 people for that course. So if you have a cat or a dog, want to know what to do in case of emergency if something happens, it's a good course to take, just to mention that as well. We have a wilderness remote in first aid training, 25th through the 27th of July. That basically it's a 3-day class, teaches you what to do if you're out on the trail, hiking, not around any emergency services, your cell phone doesn't work, and the person's survival depends on you. So if that's something you're interested in, there is one prerequisite, and that is you have to have already taken CPR to take that class. So if that's something you're interested in, that's 25 to 27 July. And we actually have, if you're interested in becoming an instructor in CPR First Aid AED, we're having an instructor's course the 23rd and the 24th of August. And once again, the prerequisite is that you've already taken the class and the training for that. One last thing to wrap things up. Every year we participate in the Italian Red Cross Via Colada March between Solferino and Castiglione. It's a great event. Basically, it's a nighttime walk. You carry a torch. It's a big candle about 3 feet high, and it's 10 kilometers. So it sounds like a lot, but it's a really good time. The Italian Red Cross charges €5 to cover their costs for the event. The VCC helps us out with the bus, so we actually have a bus going. We have 15 seats available still, and that's the reason why we normally just focus it to our volunteers, but since we need to fill up the bus, it's open to the community now. If that's something you're interested in, please. That is the 21st of June, thank you. It's a Saturday, and the bus leaves at around noonish, 12:30, and probably get back around midnight to 1 in the morning, just depending on how long the walk takes. And it's probably going to be a big walk this year because there's 150. This is the 150th year of the Red Cross movement. So, and it started off in Italy at Solferino. So it's a big deal for the Red Cross. So if that's something you're interested in, please call us up and come along. And just a goodbye. This is my final InfoX. I PCS. It's been great being here in the Vicenza community, and it's been really happy to get to know everybody.
And Wade, thank you too for everything you've done for our community. Thanks.
morning, everyone. I'm Cindy Brown. I'm the Vicenza main store manager, and I'd just like to reference the question that was brought up before about the matinees. Currently, we have an 11 o'clock matinee on Wednesdays and also a 1900 showing on Wednesdays, where before we'd been closed. And the food court manager, Phil Victorian, confirmed that he's going to look into a Monday or Tuesday or both days, early morning or midday showing for the time that the folks are out of school. And we'll go ahead and get the information on that and put that out to the community. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Cindy.
Well, since the line is short today, I'm Aaron Talley with AFN. I want to remind everybody while you're out there to check out our YouTube channel. We put all of our stories out on YouTube, AFN Vicenza. If you search AFN Vicenza, you'll see everything we put out there is on YouTube. It's a really big thing for us if you guys get out there and check out the stories because it shows views and it shows subscribers and it kind of really reinforces the great community that we have here. But even a bigger deal for us is the AFN 360, which is our internet radio service. To remind you, as you're driving around Europe this summer, if you download the AFN Europe app to your iPhone or your Android device, you can listen to AFN radio anywhere in Europe, AFN Vicenza radio anywhere in Europe. So don't worry about the signals going out. Wherever you're driving all throughout Italy, if you have that app on your phone, you can tune into AFN Vicenza and listen to your hometown radio station. And so it's a great service, and we really want to get the word out about that. So download the AFN Europe app to your phone, click on the AFN Vicenza on the AFN 360, choose Vicenza, and you can listen anywhere, in your car, wherever you go to. So thank you.
Any additional announcements? Not, sir, then we turn over the floor to you for the open forum portion. So for any questions from the audience.
Okay, we got a few, as people line up, if they have questions from the audience, we have a couple from the Facebook page, and Drew, we'll start with you.
So a question came in on Facebook. It says if a civilian has to go to a hospital, what is available to assist them to pay a bill since a civilian cannot leave the hospital without paying the bill? So I'm not aware of any program that's really set up to do that. What I would ask for civilians, since you all have third-party insurance here, just know what the copays and the limitations are of that particular insurance plan. Probably a great idea to have a rainy day fund, medical savings account, something in the bank, some room on a credit card. What you should be expected to pay is many hospitals will have or insurance plans will have a deductible that you should know you're going to have to pay for any hospital admission, and then there's probably a copay of upwards of 10 to 20 to 30% based on your insurance plan that you'll have to end up paying out of pocket for that hospitalization. Most insurance companies on your insurance card or on your delineation of coverage should lay that out for you. The one thing that we're going to do for you from the health center's perspective is the memorandum of understanding for TRICARE between us and San Bortolo is due at the end of July. And what we're going to do is add into that some stipulations for how our civilians have to pay bills, at least down at San Bortolo. The intent would be for you to be able to walk in with your insurance card and your delineation of payments and only have to pay what your delineation of payments says you have to pay. I believe we have gotten reports that some civilians have had to go in and pay up to 2,000 or 3,000 euro up front, regardless of what the bill was, and then they're actually refunded money from San Bortolo, and this comes from, in years past, issues with some folks in our community not paying their bills, and so kind of ruined it for everybody in the community. So we do have a willing and open ear from the leadership down at San Bortolo to re-engage that, and I'm hoping by the end of July that we'll have a good agreement there to where you should really only pay what's expected, and we'll brief the community on that at a future time.
Okay, thank you, Drew. And I got two other questions here, and I don't know that I have the exact answer for them here, but we will look into them. And the first one, and I know we are starting to work on this. Obviously, we're transitioning into the summer. Spring is transitioning out, and so that means the turning on of the AC, both for barracks and office and other places on post. And I know DPW is here, and we're in the process of getting that all turned on at the moment. Of course, you won't be free to run the AC at your 60-degree temperature and then leave all your frozen goods out on the counter because it's so cold in your barracks room. But we will get that is in the process of getting turned on. So to answer the question, I don't have an exact date for you, but it's in the works now, and all across the Army now, posts are starting to turn on the AC. So that's coming. The second one was on the rules and regulations for children on the shuttle bus that goes to and from Villaggio and the other bases here, and what are the age requirements for having to be escorted versus what age can they go unaccompanied on the shuttle bus. And I don't know the answer to that off the top of my head. So if no one in this room knows the answer off the top of their head, we will take that back and come up with the answer. Because obviously there's a certain age where we don't want them riding it alone. They certainly have to be able to walk, I would say. That would be first criteria. But other than that, I don't know where the cutoff point is. So we'll give that answer back to you. I don't have it off the top of my head. Okay, so with that, anyone in the room that has a question, and while I recycle the web page. All right, one last look. And while I do that, Command Sergeant Major, anything for the group?
Roger. First, I'd like to thank Chris Bradford for that nice boxing photo of his. 2 years make he lost his hair as an MWR director, but once he finished that, he'll grow it back. The summer's here was coming, and we got a lot of community is out and about. Can't stress enough about safety. As we drive around, we're wearing the appropriate gear, because one fatality in our community, it hurts the whole community. So I want everybody to be vigilant in what are we doing. Again, I want to happy birthday to the Army. Throughout the summer, please join all this festivity that's going around. And ladies, wives, soon to be wives, we didn't mention Happy Father's Day also, just like we did Happy Mother's Day this month. So don't forget our gifts. Thanks, Father's Day. I got my man card back, thank you. And also, since we're not doing InfoX in July, I'd like to wish everybody a happy 4th of July. And as you go about vacationing, again, we all be safe and come back. Thank you.
Okay, and just tag on that reminder, no July. We'll see you all in August again for the next InfoX. And again, be on the lookout for if there's any changes for the AFM. But again, you can always find us here in person in the arena or online on the Facebook page. And so with that, Command Sergeant Major Stitzel, anything?
Sir, a couple things. First, we kept talking about the 173rd and the things they're doing. So let's remember that the 173rd and members of our community may not be deployed to Operation Enduring Freedom, but they are deployed and they're away from their families. So remember that, which then also makes me think as a community member, that might be one of the reasons we have such a percentage of days with Space A availability. Might be a lot of people are gone as well. So know that that may dwindle as they come back from the deployments. Second is, it's the performance tryout. We're talking about that. I think I got confused. It said 26 weeks. I could have sworn, Mickey, you told me it's 26 minutes. I have to do this for 26 weeks I signed up for? All right, so I'm worried about it. But remember that tryout, it deals with sleep. And that's the big one. We always remember the physical training. We always remember about what we eat, but it's the sleep. I got 7 hours and 2 minutes last night. I've been doing my stuff. And then, so please stop by their booth that's at the PX. And the last thing is about these great volunteers. We had 2. Sir, that was just 2 of many that you see out here and that are watching or on AFNN or paying attention on Facebook. This is a great community. And just like they did yesterday, I know they're thinking about your welcome here. So to this community, I introduce Major General Williams and his wife, Erin.
Oh, thank you very much. So I learned a lot. Aaron and I are transitioning, as Command Sergeant Major just mentioned, and Rob, thanks. This is a great forum to bring the community together. I look forward to this in the future. This is a period of transitions. I'll make sure I will be moving in as well, and I'll make sure my boxes are broken down and get to the appropriate. I'll be doing that. I'm a good box breaker downer kind of guy. And it's a period of transitions for folks coming in, folks leaving. I'm over at the lodge, and I'm on the dog hall. So if you come over, and we have a big old golden doodle. Anybody want to walk my dog? I'm about walked out. But no, seriously though, with all the transitions of folks coming in and folks leaving, and summer is upon us very quickly. So great information from. I know in my former job, I just came from USAR. I was the USAR G3 working for Lieutenant General Don Campbell. And I actually sat through that brief, and you did a very good job of briefing about the PP. Very important. And as you can see, it say that gentleman's life there, it sounds like, because he had the appropriate gear and he was trained. So it's very, very important. I'm very, very happy to be here. Yesterday, I've been here all in one day, really, officially. I've been here a week. So we're over the jet lag. If any of you all were out there at the ceremony yesterday, you know that my wife and I were blessed with 3 children. My daughter is married to a paratrooper at Fort Bragg, and Zach is a commissioned officer, second lieutenant, very proud of him. And then my other son is heading off to West Point here in about 3 weeks. So we're going to I've already talked to Command Sergeant Major Council. I'm going to take him up on some of that boxing. Boxing is one of the requirements, a graduation requirement, which separates West Point from other colleges. So Command Sergeant Major Council has already told me he's going to show him how to throw a left jab and a right hook here. So I look forward to, and so my point is, I look forward to participating in the community events here and great rundown of all the community activities. I look forward to a great 4th. I think I will be back. Sergeant Major and I are going to run around the world for a few weeks and try to get oriented to the new mission set that I have. But more importantly, I look forward to always coming back here and recharging and nurturing and being a vital partner here with you all in this great, great community. I watched you from afar. I know you're already great. I knew of, heard of, and now I've tasted, touched the InfoX, and this is a powerful, powerful forum. So I know many of you all are listening out there in Electron land, so if I can help you, Rob is a horse, and we put a horse down here. Kathleen Marin's a good friend of mine and has a lot of confidence in Rob and this Command Sergeant Major and this community, and I'll be value added to that. So I won't get in the way. I hope to only be value added. So thank you very much for the warm welcome, and Aaron and I are happy to be here. Grazie mille.
Great. Thank you, sir. All right. Chuck, did you have something you needed to say? Yes. It is Chuck's also last InfoX, and he spent a lot of time sitting up on this seat during this last summer. So this is Chuck's last farewell. And the full community thanks you for everything you've done for us. So thank you, Chuck.
Okay.
All right, and before I do the final closeout, I would just like to let everyone know, as you're sponsoring folks into your units this summer, we have our welcoming program. Not only is the traditional in-processing that goes on the 2 weeks here on Ederly, but we also have every other week we have a welcome brief in the Ederly Inn for all new families. Bring your children. There's a little bit of snacks, some other things. The next one is on it will be the 17th of June. It's Wednesday nights. And we do it at 1700, and just come on down to Tuesday, I'm sorry, Tuesday, that's right, I'm getting ahead of myself, thank you, Dave. So Tuesday nights, but still the 17th, and we just have a few snacks, and we talk, introduce all the various community members, or I call my deputy mayors, that are in charge of the various things like housing and the ACS and the child development centers and all those sort of things, to kind of give you a brief welcome to the community and give you a chance to meet a few other new folks and figure out who your points of contact are. So encourage your new family members to come to that. There'll be signs all over the Ederly Inn. It's right there in the lobby, very easy to get to. And again, bring kids if you need to. No problem with that. Okay, thank you all. We'll see you in a couple months or out on around campus.
Cool.